right, brother. You can hop on. Welcome back. Round 2 today for the real and the rare. And this evening I'm being joined by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships fighter, Mr. Joe, the Hitman Elmore. Joe, appreciate the time, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. You know, you're actually going to be the last fighter interview I'm going to do heading up at the Knuckle Mania. Got as many guys on the card as I could get on in this past month, but obviously I never asked the fighters once we hit fight week to hop on. So you're putting the bow on this one. You know, I did get my credential approval this weekend as well. So I'll definitely see you there, win, lose, or draw, my friend.
Awesome, brother.
So obviously, you're one of the 3 last minute replacement fights. Obviously, there were some fights that got off the card. Obviously, in the last week, we just seen, unfortunately, Romero can't make it. Dave Mundell slides in and fights Mr. Hunt. You and Mr. Richman have had some altercations in the past, obviously at events. Is that what kind of coincided this fight being put on Knuckle Mania, or was it just a matchup that you were looking for in general?
No, so it got made up because it got offered to us. It was an idea that had got brought up because I sent a text. I hadn't fought in a long time. I'd been on a shelf, and I sent a text to the owner. I said, of Bare Knuckle, and I said, "Hey, David Philman, man, I want to fight fights that are big, man. I want to fight some legendary fights. I know Knuckle Mania is coming up. It's the biggest card of the year. Put me on there against Eddie Alvarez. Give me Frankie Edgar. You've been talking about all these signings he was going to put on there." I'm like, man, I just want legendary fights. Let me fight Mike, anybody. And I was talking about Mike Perry, and he goes, and I was just putting out names, Mike, Frankie, Eddie, whoever, right? Like, just trying to, like, please just get me in there. And he goes, "Would you fight Mike the Marine or Mike Richman?" And I went, "I wasn't talking about that Mike, but that would be the Hitman versus the Marine." Okay. And I was like, I respect Mike. I like Mike, whatever, as a fighter. He's a real fighter. But I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that fight. Well, they were trying to build up for the fight. He was at 185. The end, you know how the politics goes. Oh, he fights 165. But he was the champion. What are they going to fight at? There was just so much inside outside stuff. It was I was cornering Ace down in Miami, and there was some talk of us fighting, but nothing had jumped off. They're just trying to build cards, build fights. And they said something about him coming down to 165. And I was like, well, if he wants to come to 165, that even makes more sense for us to fight since that fight was offered. Why are we not fighting? And his manager said that he was coming down to Miami anyway, just to get interviews. Sometimes we go to the fights to get interviews, call somebody out, tell people what we're doing. And he got up to go take a piss at Miami, and kind of like bumped into me and said something about 165 was easy and da-da-da-da. And I was already lit up on energy. There were some other people that had started some stuff around us. And I said, yeah, well, I was basically just not even mad. But I was like, yeah, fuck you. Motherfucker, I'll come to 165, you fat son of a bitch. And then I guess the people started. And then, like, we were going to, like, just kind of, like, get in each other's face. We were just talking our shit, but then people started breaking us up. And when they broke us up, somebody put their hands on me. And it wasn't even us that was really going to put our hands on each other yet. But once you put your hands on me, now you're holding me back, and I want to go harder. So then it was just, like, it just turned into 2 fighters. We wanted to say what we wanted to say. People got in our way, and I think he got his hands on my throat, and I put him in a little guillotine, and And we were just trying to wrestle more to each other. We were just trying to get like this so we could say how we felt. And the fight had already got started. I was hoping that it would boost it up a little bit. People started noticing it wasn't intentional, but it happened. And I was like, well, now it's got to happen. Still nothing. And then I got in a little trouble because I said, if Bare Knuckle's not going to call it, I'm calling it. Me versus Fight Richman. I didn't know that they were really working on the fight truly in the background. I thought they had already given up on it because it was 4 weeks out. They made the poster. No way in hell are they going to not have me and Mike Richman as a poster on this. I think they were just trying to make it work because it wasn't working. With whatever reasons. They last minute they decided they needed the card because other things were falling through. And me and Mike Richman is a main event on any card in the world other than Knuckle Mania right now because of the card, how big this card is. But yeah, they added us to the card to beef up the card a little bit and made the fight happen. It just didn't happen till last minute, unfortunately. So it's at 175 instead of 165.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean,
I like it. I ain't got to cut weight. I get to be big.
Said on social media that you guys didn't like the fact that you weren't in the trailer, not the actual poster, but like kind of like the video hype up video type of thing. And I don't blame you guys for that one because A, Mike's a former champion. B, they have footage of what happened, you know, down there at that fight. So why not throw a little juice to it? Throw a little sauce on it, right? You know, give it reason.
I said it's their missed opportunity, right? It's their missed opportunity because I know they had other things planned, but they just did the engaged with changed Romero last minute, and they just released the video today that had Mundell and him in it. And dude, they haven't put us in a commercial. They haven't put us in nothing, but that's their miss, not mine. Because my job is to show up and do the show. I do these interviews and the podcast, but it's extra work. You know, if I'm getting up at 5 a.m. and I'm staying up till 10 o'clock at night doing interviews, doing podcasts, doing this, go here, film this, engage, it's less pressure on me. Conor McGregor loved what he did. So I'm looking at the bright side. They missed their opportunity, and other people, they know they've done it because you guys are the ones that are saying it. I don't get offended. I don't give a damn. They can't stop the blood and the violence. When I get in there with Mike Richman, he thinks he's going to beat me. He's sure of it. I heard him say he thinks second round knockout. Well, I think it's going to end in fight of the night or the worst night of his life because I can go all 5 rounds, or it might end the first, second, third, fourth, fifth round knockout by me. I'm confident I'm going to win this fight. I'm confident he's a bad man and he could win the fight with anybody, but I'm a bad man. And this is in the end, I'm going to let it be a bad decision on everybody's part. They're going to wish they put me in commercials. He's going to wish he didn't take the fight with me. And I'm just going to keep doing what I do. You can't stop me. It motivates me. Diamonds aren't made by sitting on top of water. They're made under the ground, under pressure. So put pressure on me. Forget about me. Say I'm the underdog. I hope I'm plus 900 on this fight. I hope everybody says I'm going to get my ass whooped. They don't make no commercials, and everybody forgets about me. I get to go in there and be brand fucking new, and the whole world watching Knuckle Mania says, who the fuck is Joe Hitman Elmore? If you didn't know, now you know.
You gonna let them know on the 7th who the Hitman is, right, my friend?
Oh yeah, if they don't know today, they're gonna find out. I mean, I die on my shield. You ain't never I've lost judges' decisions, but I've never lost a bare knuckle fight in my life. I've split decisions on judges to 3 former champions in my last 4 fights. 3 of my losses were split decisions to current champions. Connor Tierney, champion, and Dustin Pegg just won the title. Split decision in their hometowns. I'm a monster. You can't deny me. You'll see who I am. They all will.
Well, you're definitely not going to be in Mike's hometown. You're going to be here in Philadelphia at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. What do you think that experience is going to be like? Obviously,
phenomenal.
You've done probably big fights before, but us Philadelphia fans, we bring a different kind of energy to fight. So what?
I love Philly, bro. I heard Mike say it tonight too. It's too late, bro. Rocky 4 is my favorite Rocky 2. I am Rocky Balboa. I'm coming in there in the underdog. Listen, my walkout uniform, Other than the white robe with the red, I went with my American flag over robe, but I get the identical Rocky IV shorts that he came out with the stripes and the stars on them. And I turned his shorts into a robe instead of the white robe. So the shorts he wore in Rocky IV, I've got those as my robe and my shorts. I'm running the stairs. I saw that the Knuckle Mania is having the cannoli run and do the Fox News interview, but yeah, man, I'm embodying it. I am I'm a Hoosier hillbilly. My mom's from Gary, Indiana. My dad's from Memphis, Tennessee, Dyersburg, Tennessee, out in the country. And so I got that Yankee country hillbilly redneck, all of it in one. I'm a black, white, Mexican, all like not by this, but by spirit. I am a little bit of every fighting spirit from every culture that's ever existed because of how I grew up and so many different things. My dad being in the Navy, my mom having 7 sisters that could fight better than any 7 dudes you ever seen up north in Gary, Indiana. 7 women, boy, let me tell you what. And so going to Philly in that northern fighting atmosphere. I mean, it's mutual combat's legal there. Come on, man. In a state that's got mutual combat, you go up to a cop and be like, this guy's an asshole. He wants to fight. And they'll be like, go. And then you can fight until the guy says, okay, I'm done. I get to do that in a professional setting in one of the biggest stadiums in the United States in Philly, Xfinity Mobile Arena. They've already sold over what they sold last time, which was 18,000. So we're going to have 20,000 people cheering, screaming, not just people, but Philadelphia fight fans. And I'm the type of guy that can feed off negative and positive energy the same way. I'm a soul sucking, just like Deadpool. He can absorb the energy, or the Hulk. The more you give him, the more power he gets. So I can come in there and I don't care if Philly's cheering for me to get my ass whooped. It's going to build me up and go, okay, I prove him wrong. Or it's going to be my family and my loved ones going, we love you. We support you no matter what. And me going, I'm going to die for him. So I'm excited to carry that energy in.
To get the Philadelphia fans on your fight. Just let them know Mike Richman's a Minnesota fan.
Yeah. When I went to London, listen, they called him the Brummies. He's from Birmingham. And I could hear they call them Brummies over there. And I hear all the Brummies going, boo. And I'm walking out. Look, Hitman is incredible. The crowd is screaming, welcome to the Joe Show. That's my own rap song. That's me walking it. I rap it as I walk out everywhere I go. And it really that is the Joe Show. You boo. I'm making you boo. 20,000 of you are giving a fuck about me. And you think your boos hurt? So when I was walking out in London, I was like, boo this man. Yes. Boo this man. I felt like Achilles and facing an army, or David versus Goliath. I just knocked down Goliath with a stone and the Palestinians are going to run. So I have that warrior spirit, and I can't wait to be in a place that embraces that and that loves me or hates me. I don't care if I'm the good guy or bad guy. I love it. Wrestling had to have a heel. There's no superhero without a supervillain, so there's no comic book without either one. You can't have 2 superheroes filled in flowers together and anybody give a fuck about it. It's not fighting.
Now, you mentioned Rocky IV is your favorite Rocky. I got to ask you one thing. Is it the soundtrack that makes it great, or is it the storyline?
The storyline, the underdog, the giant Russian comes in, and then the American pride that I have as America, the country, the freedom. And at the time, I remember being a kid, Russia was, nuclear weapons. And, oh, God, it was, especially the era I come from as a kid. So it's different for me now, but Rocky become one of my heroes. Adrian, I have my Adrian. My wife is in my corner, Maggie. I've actually had a fight where you see this right here? Mm-hmm. The nerve in your lip dies. And I had that same lip he has when he says it. And I fought for LFA against the guy. He got me in a good strike. He poked my eye while I couldn't see. He hit me. It collapsed my sinus cavity over here. I was drooling for weeks. But at the end of that fight, I couldn't speak. I was talking like this. And I was joking with my wife. I said, Adrian, it's always been a bucket list. Like I said, since I was a kid, watched that movie. I saw myself here. And here I am in that moment. So, yeah, it's nostalgic. And even before that, it was just him running through the snow. The soundtrack definitely set that shit off, too. But, yeah, man.
My favorite song from that one is No Easy Way Out. That's like
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, just when he's running through the giant snow and they're chasing him and he outruns them in the car. Like I said, sick.
Yeah, I think it's it doesn't quite get the credit just because I guess some of the other movies and it was starting to kind of light out. But yeah, during that time in that era, like having Apollo die, having Adrian basically always in his corner sitting there, you can't win, and then comes back around towards the end, shows up. But it's like one of those things where there's just so many moments in that movie. I mean, I have other favorite Rocky ones just because some of the other moments, like Balboa was great. The back and forth with him and his kid. Like there's a lot of some of the stuff from those.
The whole Rocky series is amazing, but I'm definitely the era of 4. That was that was what set me to be the underdog and always love the pressure and to never give up and run through the snowstorm, and it had the whole storyline. There was
we're apparently supposed to get one more snowstorm before the fight. So
yeah, well, that's what joking with my wife. That's why I keep saying I was like, God, we're supposed to get another snowstorm. We might get up there, and I might be able to reenact every scene. You could just chase me with the car through the snow, and I'll.
It might be that way. I'm hoping that
I'll go to Walmart and get some old 1980 ugly gray sweats and just.
Yeah. So when we set this up, I went through your profile and I seen something. So I got to ask you, one, who did this? Is this just a photo, or did somebody kind of make this for you? And if they did, we need to see this on a larger scale for all.
I got a series of 5 of them getting made in the blue shorts, 5 in the American flag, and 5 in the thing. I have found somebody that's making them for me, but it was something that somebody made for me for an idea and asked if I thought it'd be cool to get them, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do limited series sets. So I'm gonna start getting sets of them. That's the American flag set series that I got, and then each fight I'm gonna have a photo that I take from each fight, and I'm gonna get an action figure, and from each fight I make, and do like a 1 through 5, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5, 5 of 5, and if you want them, get them. They're like $150 for me to make them. Some for like $250 or something. Sign them, autograph them, have them out, and be cool little collectors, man. I still got my Flying Brian Pillman. I've still got a bunch of WWE wrestling figures and stuff that I saved, and it'd be cool to be on somebody's shelf.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, when I seen that, I was like, wait a minute, because like I haven't seen anything like that, and I was like, if you think,
I had a guy from India actually made that. A huge fan of mine that always just does random cool stuff, and he made that for me and got the specs, got it all ready, and yeah, now I'm gonna get it in production.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see stuff like that because we haven't seen like any of that for the combat sports fighters since what the round 5 stuff that they did.
I'm an innovator, dude. I grew up around all that stuff, and when I see the sport grow, I do it myself. Me and my wife has been in my corner, my manager. I got my own a lawyer that I grew up with since I was a kid. I have a huge network and family, and I've built the business with myself. So when I see something not happening, I make it happen for myself, and I'm kind of glad because nobody else gets to do that. It's all my ownership. It's all my fun thing and idea, and then it gives ideas for other people to do it too. And then they're going to be like, "Oh, well, damn! If he can do it, we need to have a market for this." And then. Yeah. Then we can really make some money out of it.
The memorabilia side of things is the only thing I think that BKFC needs to get a little better at. If I were you, I would talk to some of the champions, some of the other fighters, see if you can guys have do a 5 to 10 fighter set with different fighters, because I already seen there's a company in Florida that's doing the
trading cards.
Yeah, the collector cards, exactly.
Yeah, I had somebody do collector's cards and custom posters, all kinds of stuff. But these action figures, I've already got somebody talking about making a production line where I can actually get these made for fighters and make money off these fighters, so they can also sell collections, like you were saying. I'm ahead of that game, dude. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur.
You're like, hey, man, I got.
Dude. I know. I posted that right there. Me posting that. I got dude, I had more orders, and in 10 minutes, people wanted. I mean, people were trying to auction them off for $1,000 a piece, and I was like, "Listen, I've already promised them to people. Wow, I need to go up 250s. Like, wow, okay, dang, I need to really make these." And yeah, so I talked to somebody, found somebody that could actually do it up in Maine. Another one of my friends and slash sponsors, friendships now, but started out as a sponsor, stayed on, yeah, partners, and yeah, we got a few ideas for doing this to get it going. You got people that make custom shorts. You got Title Boxing, you got Nike, and it started with an athlete wearing something that they're now have their own Jordans and they have their own thing. So I'm working on something like that. So I think all fighters need this. It'd be so cool. There's a few fighters that, even though I'm a fighter at the level I'm at now, I'm a fan of the sport as well. I'd like to have me versus Mike Richman series set up in my basement myself anyway.
If you're doing Mike, he's got to be in that leopard print he's been wearing.
Yeah, we'll do the Bloody Warrior series. There's a few pictures of us like blah, and then we'll do like the shitty weight cut series, and then where our faces are all sunk in. You know what I mean? Real collector shit. The side of figures they don't see. You put it in water and it goes.
If Connor's there this weekend, you definitely got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We'll do the pre-Bible series, the Booger Beer series of Connor. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh man.
Everybody will have a series.
I don't know if you've seen this. I was talking to Jess about it. I came across this. He basically considers himself a free agent now that UFC has voided his contract because they no longer have pay-per-view anymore. And pay-per-view was a big part of his contract. So if he feels like he's a free agent, shouldn't he be able to take a fight under bare knuckle? I'm not sure the legal terms of it.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I don't know what his full ownership in it and stuff is. I know he's brought lots of eyes. He's going to be at this fight. I can't wait. I've always wanted to just actually meet him in person and talk and just, like talk to him about the business side of things and what he's done and what he plans on doing. But yeah, I don't see why if he's an owner in this and he could do for his own company what he did for Dana without violating a contract. That would be silly not to. Think about that. What does Jake Paul get to fight because he fights for himself? He made a Netflix deal. Conor McGregor could have you Netflix BKFC on Netflix instead of his own. Or instead, think about that.
I can't say where I heard it from, but I heard it from one of the rostered fighters that there's a possibility that Dave's working on a Fox deal with BKFC right now.
I mean, listen, I know that there's a lot of production companies. I've seen Telemundo come in and watch us. I've met a few presidents of television companies while sitting at a bar randomly talking about. I'll talk to people in business suits. Again. When I'm out fighting and I see people say, "Are you one of the fighters?" I always see what they're doing, and sometimes you skip over a couple millionaires that want to invest, and we're asking you a question to see if you were smart enough to ask questions back. And yeah, man, I've met quite a few people with money that have been interested in bare knuckle for a while. I mean, in 2020 when I fought Tom Shove, Forbes magazine put us in it a month later, and my picture getting punched by Tom was in Forbes magazine, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God. This is a baby right now." And here we are 5 years later, 10 times bigger, and it's still just got 10 times the potential, growing at a rate that, you just saw what happened with UFC getting the Paramount deal, $7.7 billion, 7 years, $1.1 billion a year, plus advertisement. There's other hidden deals inside of there beyond the 7.7 billion. But like 1.1 billion a year, that's a lot of good high-end big money fights. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to see where we're going too. So
yeah, I mean, I was excited before Connor, became part owner, investor, however you want to word that. Just because I was covering Dave's fights when he was here in Philly doing the XFE fights. So I've been covering Dave's fights for a while, and I remember him sitting there telling me like, hey, like. He was, I think it was right after CFFC bought his promotion, and he was just like, when our contract's done here, I'm going to go down to Florida. I'm going to start bare knuckle boxing. I'm like, that'll be cool. That'd be cool. Here we are, what, 8 years later?
Way,
8 years later,
cooler
and
than you
it's
thought.
arguably the biggest combat sport that we have right now, or the fastest growing, at least in my
By
opinion.
far the fastest growing. I mean, from when I fought BKFC 10, we were only legal in like four states, barely two. Working on 10 by the end of the next year, and now we're in like more countries than we were states. So it's been wild. There were people still sitting 6 feet apart when I fought in that a rodeo barn in Mississippi State. Now I'm fighting in Philly at Xfinity Arena. It's a whole different. We've grown so much. It's wild.
Yeah, it couldn't happen to a nicer dude. Like obviously there's not everyone's gonna think Dave Feldman's the greatest promoter person, whatever. What I've seen, he's always been fighter first. He makes sure you guys have what you need. He also makes sure you guys don't put yourselves in bad situations. I don't know if you heard, like he has some of these medical rules in place, and I think that's why Frankie didn't fight back in October, is because he felt like his medicals weren't right where he needed to be. And, I think there's something about, age plus like your consecutive win or loss record, that why he keeps some of these guys out of fights. So, I mean, for a guy,
if you're getting your ass whooped and guys are getting knocked out over and over, constantly can't defend themselves, there's no point in those fights. Definitely the rules, dude. I had to go through so many tests, but here's the thing: I'm glad I have to have all these tests. To be honest, I'm healthy. I get to know that I don't have things, and a lot of guys, they're willing to sacrifice their life for a couple dollars, and it's nice to know that somebody cares and is trying to stop that from happening. You can't have a sport if we're going out here getting hurt too. We had an accident that happened in Miami, and it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just things that happened, but Dave did take the extra steps to protect the fighters, and that's what you got to do, man. That's why these little regional shows don't last, because they just sacrifice all these chicken fights, and you don't see that with BKFC. BKFC, there might be a mismatch one time, but that you can't help sometimes somebody just being way more talented than you ever thought they could be. That happens no matter what. That guy might have whooped his ass, and that guy might have not deserved to be in there with him. But that's going to be everybody till he gets to the top, like Connor did in UFC. He went like everybody was nothing. So you can't control that, but having the safety measures in place definitely keeps it safe, and it's the reason we're growing at an astronomical level. SpaceX, baby, out of this world.
Listen, I don't blame you, and I don't blame Dave for putting those measures in. You have to protect fighters from themselves, because like you sit there and said, there's some guys that they'll sacrifice their livelihood, their potential earning factors, just for that current paycheck, because a lot of you guys, you beg from Peter to pay Paul just to get to the next fight. So it's like you have to make sure that you take the fighter out of some of these equations when it comes to the medical side of things.
Yeah. And not everybody has Barber Orthopedics as a sponsor to get my Barrett Chamber treatments and make sure that they're fully taken care of, because Barber is so awesome.
You got your sponsor. I got mine behind me. It's Fight Wax.
Yeah, well, Barber Orthopedics, man, they've sponsored a lot of pro fighters. Dr. Scott Barber, he's literally probably not even saying this because he's my sponsor, but one of the, if not the best orthopedic in the United States of America. He's been best. His orthopedic practice has got Best of Georgia 2022, 2023, 2024, and it just won 2025 Best Orthopedic Practice. And we have access to all his facilities, man. It's actually a huge blessing. So on top of Dave expecting it, I got a doctor. It's like, oh, you need that test? Come get it. You need that test? Come get it. You need that test? Come get it. Man, 30 minutes from now, come on in, Joe. And you're like, yeah, all right. Hey, the medical staff loves us. We get all our stuff there ahead of time. Stuff takes most people
I mean,
6
it's
months.
good to have someone outside of the promotion where you can go to, not just for testing, but just to make sure your body's right to be able to go perform it.
MRIs, head scans. I don't have to wait for a boo-boo. If I think something's wrong, I make sure there's nothing wrong. And again, I get the right treatment. I can get in make sure I'm taking care of health as well. I'm not going to live forever, but I'm trying to live long and strong.
Now, obviously, we talked about your fight. Obviously, you're going in there Richman Elmore. Is there a fight outside of your fight that you're looking forward to on this big card? Is there a matchup you like or that you want
All
to
of them,
see?
all of them,
I
all
can't
of them, man. There's really good fights. I really can't wait to see what happens between Mendel and Hunt.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, Mendel knocked down Mike Richman a few times when they fought. Mike Richman knocked down Lorenzo,
Yep.
then got cold cocked by Lorenzo, but Mendel didn't. He actually got knocked down once, and after he got knocked down once, kind of went through Mike Richman, kind of kept him in the clinch, stayed pressured on him, used that southpaw to land those straight punches, take some of his counters away. So I can't wait to see how that fight goes. And then, funny enough, here we are, me and Mike fighting and pairing between there. And again, it's another motivation. When I knock out Mike Richmond, man, they're going to be like, didn't Mike Richmond knock down him and him? Oh, wait. I mean, people are looking.
I agree. I am looking forward to that. It wasn't the initial scheduled fight, but there's I'm a Philly guy, so definitely want to see how Pat Brady does. Looking forward to seeing.
This fight makes more sense for Bare Knuckle. Joel Romero fights a little bit everywhere. He's doing RFA, doing this, doing that, and he's a legend. And it would have been a fun fight to watch. But as far as pound for pound goes, two of the best fighters in the organization. Dave Mendel, where he lacks in personality, does not lack in skills, talent, and aggression. He might not be the most WWE acting superstar, but he goes in there. He's the simple country guy or cowboy kind of guy that you would. All right, you're gonna meet me at 5:00. All right, I'm gonna go in when the dinner bell rings. I'm going into Ma's house, and I'm gonna be at church on Sunday. He's a smooth, not shit talking. Lorenzo's the complete polar opposite of that.
He's the loudmouth. He's the loudmouth heel on this.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, that makes such a great fight. And Yoel was, oh, Jesus is king, and I love that, and I'm that too. But there was no real Lorenzo tried to disrespect him, but you can't really. Those two personalities didn't clash. It was going to be a fun fight because it was Yoel and him, and so I'm excited that fight has kind of come in and given two of our stars a place that need a fight. I know Dave was hungry for one. Tony Loco Soto, that's my dude. Me and him have known each other, started out a long time and go together before people knew who we were. I can't wait to see him fight.
This card is loaded with rematches too.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes the rematches are the best, man. You know how the rematches go, because I think it's 63% rematches go the other way. As far as over combat sports history, usually. So this is two guys fighting really, really hard. It creates a rivalry. I know they offered me a rematch against the guy that I lost to my split decision here at my hometown, who I obviously beat the shit out of for 4 rounds. I only took off the gas 1 round. I don't know what judge was blind, but they offered me that rematch, and I was motivated for it, but I'm glad it fell through, because now if that one wouldn't, we wouldn't be here with this one. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, so
I'm excited about the whole card and excited to be there.
Yes, Soto's a rematch. You got both Arlovsky and Rothwell's fought in before.
Now, I'm honored to be on that fight because of Arlovsky. I mean, I remember watching Pride, saying I was going to be a UFC star in my career, and seeing where that man come from. And it's very nostalgic for me as well to even be on the card. Not necessarily super excited, because I hate to see a legend like him lose after 2. I just think Rothwell's in his prime. Bare Knuckles his spot, and I think he's going to win this fight. But I'm honored to be on that card with Arlovsky too, man. That's cool as shit. My dad was talking about that. I remember seeing him going.
It's an amazing fight. I agree with you. I think that Ben is in his prime. This is his sport. This is probably where he should have been all along. But you're talking about the nostalgia with Andrei Arlovsky. The first time I was able to get media credentials and cover a fight was World Series of Fighting 2, when he fought Anthony Rumble Johnson, and he fought through what? Anthony broke his jaw in the first round, and they went the distance with Andre's teeth damn there coming out of his mouth, and just where he's where he's gone from there to now, even the medical scares he had, like he was battling cancer for a period of
Still fighting 2 years.
seeing him here now is just one of these things. Like, I agree. I think Ben's probably going to get the better of him, but just being able to see him come back and do what he's doing since then, you gotta tip your cap.
I'm just honored to be on the card with him. Like I said, it's nostalgic for me because the original gangsters of this, as far as heavyweights go, he's as original of a gangster as it gets. He's fought some of the greatest guys. He's been around the longest, fought through the most, like you said. And I went from being a guy that was going to be in the UFC with no fights, watching him fight. I mean, I was watching Wanderlei Silva and him and Lyoto Machida when they were in Pride with no weight classes. I remember watching a fight with Lyoto Machida and BJ Penn. Most people don't even know those guys. They fought each other. That was I got that on video. That's a badass fight. So that's where the era I come from. So this is me now. I'm an OG in bare knuckle, and I'm fighting with an OG that was an OG before I even started fighting. And I'm like, man, this is fucking amazing.
Now you're talking about Richman. I have been watching Mike Richman since he was in the Bellator tournament, and he was fighting at 145 pounds.
135, didn't he? He fought at 135 one or two times. The first
tournament he did do at 35, but I thought that the next one that he
after the 135 tournament, he went 145, but at one time he fought 135 for them.
Yeah, man.
I got knockout of the year for Bellator 2013 versus oh my God, it was Forrest Griffin striking Jared Burke. They was one of Forrest Griffin's striking coaches at the time. So we got two Bellator veterans going at it again.
I actually got a pair of Mike's gloves up on my wall. So I mean, he's an OG from a lot of different aspects. That's why, like I said, I cannot wait for this fight. I cannot wait for this fight card. We're 7 days away now.
Yeah, 6 days right now. Me and him will be fighting 6 days from about right now, about this time, 6 days from now.
Yeah, you're about right. It's about 9 o'clock. So yeah, because I think if I remember, first card.
They're showing us fifth fight on the main card, or maybe opening up the main card even.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna be fighting right after Lex and Zach Kalmus, because I think they told Lex he's gonna be the main event for the undercard.
Yeah, so and then we're fighting. I think we're the very first card of the main card.
Yeah, so there you go. It's gonna be a great night in Philadelphia, man. It was crazy the first time, man. You already just and you got to remember, the first Knuckle Mania broke the combat sports record for that arena. That's already had boxing events. That's already had 2 UFC numbered card, 101 and 133 has been in that building. And you guys have now outsold all of them. Mike Tyson's fought in that building.
Hey, we're finna do it again, too. We're finna do it again, too, and I get to be on the card, dude. That's what I said. I've been keeping up with it. I keep up with the stats, and that's why I said I don't care what promo I'm on. Some people never watch any promos, but they watch that fight, and it's all right because they're going to see me. I'm going to be on the main card. It's going to be the fight, and you can't unsee what you've seen.
That's right, my friend. That's right. I'm like I said, I'm excited. You guys are going to have a great matchup. We've seen some of the people put together some of these graphics for you. You look torn up right there, brother. You look like you're ready to go in that picture.
Yeah, I'm ready to go 24/7. I love fighting. It's not in any bully way. I just I was born to fight. I go to the gym. I love to spar. I love to train. I grew up in the country. Most of my friends I made fighting. It's just it's given me life. It is my life. I enjoy the people who enjoy it and what it does for those people who enjoy it. And yeah, man, I've been waiting for this moment, and it's so much build up and so big that it's almost here. And yeah, man, I'm just ready to go. Living the dream, baby.
Now, before we get ready to wrap this one up, I usually ask my first time guest one question, right? So we know in combat sports, you can never say there's a GOAT because there's so many weight classes, eras, boxing, bare knuckle, MMA, all of it, right? So what I always like to ask is I think the simple way to kind of go about this, if there's a Mount Rushmore of combat sports athletes that you would sit there and say these are the OGs, these are the legends, these are the trailblazers of what combat sports are. Who are the 4 guys you put on your Mount Rushmore, Joe?
Oh man, on my Mount Rushmore of combat sports.
Yeah, so we're not just delegated to MMA or just boxing or just bare knuckle.
So I mean, my combat sports and my mixed martial arts would kind of be close and separate together. It's very hard because Dan Gables is my biggest idol for wrestling. I went to Dan Gable Combat Camp in University of Iowa with Dave Zaleski, Tom and Terry Brand, TJ Jones. He wound up being my coach that year. He was 4-time national champion. While I was up there for my combat camp, 6 weeks up there, it was hell. I loved it. So Dan Gables, as far as wrestling goes, is one of my favorites. He's, I guess that qualifies, one of the greatest coaches and greatest wrestlers of all time. Bruce Lee, be the water, don't be the glass, be the water. Everything he said, he was a philosopher, a way of life, and the legendary stuff he did got me into martial arts, and it made me understand that even when I didn't understand the things that I was learning, that it wasn't about learning it the way they were teaching it. It was about applying it to myself. So not even learning the thing itself, learning to apply the thing itself, and then you learn the thing from applying it. So he's another one that's on there. But it makes it hard too. Chuck Liddell, honestly, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the left hook I have. I had the Chuck Liddell mohawk. I don't know where he lies on most people's, but Chuck Liddell is probably one of my favorite mixed martial arts personalities / fighters of all time. I don't know, man. You got Randy Couture, Dan Henderson. Geez. I have to go with another one of my favorite fighters. I say Randy Couture because Randy Couture he fought Brock Lesnar. He fought anybody, everybody. BJ Penn was one, and if it wasn't for how messed up he's gotten lately, I still love BJ, man. I just wish he'd get off drugs and get help because it's hard to look up to him and put him on Mount Rushmore now.
You really think that's what's going on with BJ, or is you think he may be having some TBI, whatever?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe we just need to get him on some ibogaine and get him down and get some shamans to see him and get him in with some treatments and stuff. Because honestly, he would be one of my favorite and legends of all time if it wasn't for. I couldn't put him on a mountain right now just because I wouldn't want my kids looking up to who he is now, but who he was back then. Yeah, he was. God,
can you imagine him in bare
he would be up there. He would be up there if he was prime BJ. And if BJ were 33-year-old BJ Penn, okay, 33-year-old BJ Penn in bare knuckle right now at 155 pounds. Holy shit! Okay, yeah. So that would be mine. Let's go with Bruce Lee. Let's go Dan Gable, Chuck Liddell. And I got to give it to Randy Couture because BJ
the first 2-division champion.
Yeah. Like I said, he fought Brock Lesnar and almost beat Brock Lesnar, man. And that was a guy. He didn't care. 50-50.
I felt they shouldn't have stopped that. Brock Lesnar was hitting him with 2-inch hammer fists, like literally, like, and he just hit him with like 52, like. It's just like you're going like this. He was going like.
I might have cried. Maybe shed a tear that night.
And it's funny you mentioned Brock because there was a question in the chat here, real fast, that is Brock Lesnar a real fighter or just a big show? He's both.
Oh,
he's
both.
Both.
Brock Lesnar was one of the greatest wrestlers, corn-fed, cock-strong country boys ever. I watched a documentary on him, and I mean, he could like not like pick up bales of hay, like not the little ones, but like the round bales, and like that dude was a cock-strong, amazing. World-class athlete. And for him to go straight from wrestling into like what he did, if he would have trained MMA his whole life.
I think he did 6 months of MMA training before.
6 months of striking training, and he had been training his whole life because he's a world-class athlete, but he did like 6 months of boxing for that fight. And man, if it wasn't for his weight cuts and his size, I think he had to have some organ surgery or something is what really got him out of it.
I think what they said it was
Kidney.
he had diverticulitis. He lost
Something. It was a
of his
damage to the
intestines.
organ, so he couldn't cut weight anymore.
He lost a
Yeah,
foot and a half of his intestine.
Brock was amazing.
Was
Same with Jake Paul. Everybody that thinks Jake Paul's not a boxer is an idiot now, okay? Because Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul were two world-class athletes. They went to state all 4 years in high school. They grew up from the time they were 15 years old with a boxing ring at their house. Sugar Shane Mosley used to come over there and give them private lessons. I mean, what makes a boxer a boxer? More of an influencer, less of an influencer? There are influencers like Bryce Hall. He's an influencer boxer fighting with his fan base. He's not a fighter, but Jake Paul is.
I'll say this with Jake Paul, I was very hard on him for a long period of time, and it was basically because he was fighting these older guys that were 2 weight classes below him. Over his last few fights, now he is kind of stepped his game up. Obviously,
but who's smarter, him or me? I fight real world champions for less money, and he fights old people for retirement money. He fights people that should be retired and makes retire on money. And I'm fighting world champions, and you need to buy a fucking truck or something.
And we were talking about the UFC legends. Didn't Rampage Jackson call him out recently? Said he'd be fighting for free. He's talking trash on the MMA fighters.
That's my boy, Memphis West Side. We wrestled together in high school. I got him getting in a fight with one. He was wrestling at regionals at Bolton High School, Memphis, Tennessee, my freshman year, and it was the semifinals. And the kid he was fighting, the guy's dad had said something like racist and cussing at Rampage. Rampage left the mat, went and hit the dude's dad, came back and finished the mat. It was amazing. That dude is a wild dude.
Yeah, Rampage is definitely wild guy.
He's one of my favorite fighters of all time, though. I have a story that I can't get into tonight with him, but he's a big part of why I left everything behind. The night that he fought Dan Henderson on Spike TV for the unified Spike TV UFC title, very first Spike TV free UFC show for all of us. Everything was pay-per-view before this fight. Yep. And I remember I woke up out of a 10-week coma. I fell off a motorcycle at 120 miles an hour, was in a coma, and I woke up that night to watch Rampage fighting. I heard a voice in the sky say, "If you'll do this, I'll protect you," which I believe was God saying, "If you'll go be a professional fighter, I'll take care of you." And here we are.
Here we are, my brother. Well, I guess you'll have to tell me that story one of these times. Maybe not on air. We'll get into that. But as we wrap this one up, Joe, what I typically do is throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you'd like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors that you might have. The time is yours, my friend.
All right, Joe Hitman 187 on all platforms. Hit me up at Joe Hitman 187. I'd like to thank Innovative Aquatics, Barber Orthopedics, Under One Flag. Go to underoneflag.org. It's a veteran and first responders organization. I want to go above and beyond for them because they're going above and beyond for those that fought for us. That's a special, close to my heart sponsor. I want to make sure we look them. Riley Built Homes, also another one of my sponsors. HKA USA's made all my awesome gear I'm going to walk out with. Thank you guys. Executive Branch Tree and Landscaping, helping with all the medicals that was required. It's, as you were saying, that Dave requires for us to make sure we're healthy. Torch MMA, American Top Team, and Georgia Pro MMA for letting me come in there and dogfight and get ready. And BKFC, David Philman, thank you so much for putting us in Philly, giving us this opportunity. And thank you for having me on, brother.
Oh, it was definitely a pleasure. Best of skill to you in 6 days here in Philadelphia. Hopefully, I'll be able to catch you after the fight. After a victory, we'll see how that all goes. But appreciate the time as always, my friend. And I'll see you in a few days.
Yes, sir, Steve. You have a blessed night, my brother.
You too, my friend. You have a good one. All right, everyone. That was the one and only Joe, the Hitman Elmore. He's going to be fighting Mr. Mike Richman 6 days here in Philadelphia at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Another fun interview in the books, my friends. And, I wasn't able to get to it before, but again, this episode was brought to you by Fight Wax. Guys, please make sure you guys are checking out the ultimate skin defense for athletes, for at home. They're coming out with a soap for everybody. They got stuff for your pets. Make sure you guys are checking them out. Other than that, I'm Steve. This was another great episode of The Real and The Rare here on the South Florida Tribune. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.